What's up, everyone? I'm back again, and today we're going to talk about 6 steps to create a positive money mindset. So, before I get into the mindset and how to change your mind to a positive money mindset, let's me get into this topic of I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your financial advisor, and any word of advice or anything I say to you on YouTube is for entertainment purpose only. Now, I am a business consultant, but I'm not your business consultant. And let's get moving forward. Oh, before that, let me drink up some Gatorade. Man, it's not a product placement. So, money is a very tricky topic. Everyone needs it to survive, but if you don't have enough of it, it can cause major stress. Even with me, money is a stressor in my household. If there's not enough of it, everyone's stressed out. If there's a lot of it, you get stressed out because of people trying to take your money. So, just lack of or present of money can cause huge debt. And it's one of those things you have to think about. Now, but if you constantly live in a state of fear about money, and you might sabotage your chance to making, more or getting out of debt. So avoid thinking about completely can cause you to dig yourself into deeper finance. So ignoring your finance can cause you to get in deeper in debt. So this is why you need to shift your mindset. And here's some of my, tips and or more accurately, my 6 steps to create a positive money mindset. Because if you're positive about your money, you are more likely to succeed. So, number one is forgive your past financial mistake. No one's perfect. Chances are you made multiple bad decisions over the years. I made a couple of bad decisions. I over leverage and I've done other things like use credit card and maxing them out and doing all these sorts of things, borrowing money off of credit cards, some of the things I've done. And I learned from those mistakes. But what I learned from them was not to use them again. You know, you use the credit cards, try to pay it off every month and stuff like that. And you just have to keep positive about it. Now, whatever decision you make or made in the past, it's in the past. Yes, you put yourself in suffering and consequences of those you make. I bought too many houses. I highly regret buying, all those houses at one time. The outcome was I ended up with a lot of vacants at one time too because I was buying them back to back. So that's a financial mistake. But what I learned from it was I need to sell some. I did make a little bit of money off one, and most of them are, positive and a rental. So I don't make a bunch off of it. And I was following, the BRRRR strategy at first. Then I was following what was it? I forgot those guys' name, but they talk about finance a lot. They have a YouTube channel, and they said, "Oh, it's okay to only make $50 a month because in long term, I'm gonna make a lot of money." Well, it doesn't help you if it takes longer than 1 month, 2 months to fill your vacancy, and that's what people need to understand. I made these mistakes, and you can't let it deter you from investing. You can't let it deter you from moving forward in your finances. But you can't hide from your finances. So you had to admit to your mistakes like I have. Now, the big part about all this was, what I learned was not to over leverage. So I'm going to focus on one or two houses at a time and pay them off as I go. Will it be slower? Yes. But there's less risk for me. The chances of me going bankrupt or having less tenants in there or tearing up the tenants, it's less likely because I had 4 houses at one time and I had a loan on all of them. Guess what happens when 3 of them don't rent out? Well, if 3 of them don't rent out, guess what happens? You had to pay it out of pocket. Luckily, I did, and I was able to keep up, but it took 6 to 8 months to fill them. And then you have to constantly sit there and look at what the damage that the previous people did. So one of my houses I had damage in it. I had to pay, $5,000 for termite damage for just treatment. Then I had to pay $2,000 to put the walls back up. So that's $7,000. And that's my warehouse I sold. So that's just a story about my mistake. But I moved forward and say, you know what? I'm selling this property. I'm not gonna make as much money as I want, but I don't lose money. That's the good part. Hey, if you have a mistake you done in the past, hey, put it down below in the comment and let me know, because I'm not perfect, and I'm telling you, I made it become a millionaire, even though I made mistakes. Number two, understand your thoughts and emotions surrounding money. If you're always negative about money and every day, it's pretty much gonna put you in a bad mood. You're avoiding it. You're surrounding all these dramas and issues with money. Money is not really evil. The issue is the people who controls the money, or some people have money, are just bad people. It's not the money issue. Money is just a catalyst. So every day you have to run through your head, hey, I need to buy groceries. You know what? Yes, there's inflation, but what can you do about it? Nothing. What you can do is look for a cheaper product to buy. Don't get emotional by it. Just because you can't buy, organic anymore and you have to go to another brand, doesn't mean it's in the world. Take it as an L at the time. Get your emotion out of it and say, you know what? I need substance to survive. You know what? If you want organic, grow your own garden. That's another solution. And you'll enjoy it better and get your mind out of the negative of everyday spending. Because it happens. The amount of money you have to spend on groceries, yes, it goes up. But if you want eggs every day, why don't you get a chicken and get them to lay some eggs for you? That's way cheaper because you get a constant supply of it. You can feed them the egg shells, you can feed them the scraps, and you also went green. So guess what? You're doing better. Most HOA allow 4 chickens in the chicken coops in the backyard. Even my HOA. So that's just an example. If you have an example, put it down below. Because I found out people are complaining about egg prices, but if you buy 4 chickens and let them lay eggs, and most of these people have more eggs to do with than they know what to do with, and they sell them. So they make a little bit of money off of it, and they turn it a bad experience, emotional experience. Oh, I can't get my 12 dozen eggs. It cost me $19.99, $7.99 now. But now you can sell your organic eggs for $19.99 at the organic market and make your money. So that's an example. Don't get emotional. Find a way to get yourself out of it. Now, the next one, number 3, is realize that compare yourself to others. It's just a losing game. Don't compare to your next door neighbor. It's not going to get you nowhere. And just keep yourself going. Man, there's so many scammers now. I don't even know what's real. I just send them to voicemail now. It's just nonstop. But realize that comparing yourself to others is a losing game. You can't compare to your next door neighbor. You don't know what's going on with their life. I know people that drove Lamborghinis, live in a multi-million-dollar house, but their negative net worth is like $100,000, $200,000. But then I know a farmer, he has this paid-off farm, driving a beat-up pickup truck, and his farm is worth like $20 million. And they're like, oh, he's broke. I'm like, man, he's wealthy. He has this paid-off farm that he paid off. He gets subsidies from the government, and he just sells his product, and he just live a very simple life. But then you look at the price of his truck, it actually costs more than some of these fancy cars. A BMW can cost 60, 80, 100. A F-250 King Rancher can cost you like $200,000. That type of situation. So don't look at someone and compare yourself to someone, because it's just a losing game. I don't compare myself to anyone, but what I do is try to move myself up. So don't follow the Instagrammers, movie stars, fictional characters, because you don't know what's their real financial habits are. You don't know if they're in debt. Look at some of these NFL players and sports, professional sports players, and some of them hit the Hall of Fame and they're living on the street. They're broke, and they used to live this high life, and now they're poor. There's a story of it all the time about a professional player just living in the poorhouse. Now, I'm not talking bad about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson almost put himself in that situation where he had made all this money, and now he isn't worth as much. He's older now. He's gonna fight Jake Paul or whatever one of the brothers, and for money at his age. That's look at that. Look what happened. He's still a beast. So there's nothing I can say about it, but you don't want to be put in that situation where you follow a NFL player, basketball player, and all of a sudden they everything got repoed, and you look at their actual net worth and they're owing $1 million to the bank, and that's their net worth, and they lose their opportunity. Now, the next one is yeah, you have to work on forming good habits. There's nothing you can do with a bunch of bad habits. Don't shy away from your finance. Try instead to set up time each week to go over your bills, budget, spending habit, highlight the areas you need to work on, and congratulate yourself when you improve. It is a joyful moment. I always set up little rewards on the way. Either going out to eat, set yourself a date night, set yourself, hey, I'm gonna buy this car if I make this much money or if I save this much money. Set yourself up these rewards to work on forming your good habits. And that's a very good thing to do. Now, the next one is create a budget that brings you joy. Everyone, like Dave Ramsey says, you know, beans and rice, beans and rice. You know what? That doesn't make a lot of people happy. And yes, it can get you out of debt. Yes, it's the best way to do things if you don't know much about finance, but there's no point of going through it, you suffering, and then you die the next day. So the best way to do it is to create a budget that you can bring yourself a little bit of joy and not suffer too much. Now, I've seen a lot of people sit there and complain that budgeting sucks, but then when I look at their budget, it's no budget, or they budget no money to fund. And I told them, how are you going to maintain this budget for 3 years? Because a lot of people takes 1 to 3 years to get out of debt, and they work all the time. They lose all their friends. They start hating life. They start gaining weight. They start living miserable lives. And it doesn't matter if one person's willing to do it and the other person's suffering. It brings hardship that you shouldn't bring into the house or the family whenever you don't have to. No, I made the mistake of budgeting, and you know what? It's not good for the family to be so much of a tightwad. Loosen up your wallet a little bit, enjoy your life. No, he's Dave Ramsey like to say, "Hey, I don't want to see you inside a restaurant until you pay off all your debt." Well, it takes 5 years to pay off all your debt, and then what? Then you start living life. Well, by that time, you have the habit of never wanting to spend money. You're always gonna be conscious, and then you're not gonna bring yourself joy at that point. You're gonna just be stressed out to not fall back into it. It's better to set yourself up for success with a mindset of, hey, let's go and go to the park, and or go to amusement park. I'm not saying Disney World, but maybe you can go to the pool or something like that, something on a cheaper end, once a month, once a year, and spend $1 or $2,000 on that type of thing a year, and not be so tightwad and worry all about that. And the next one is remember to be thankful, because everything you get in life and everything you get is a thankful moment. And it's worth celebrating, because if you have a roof over your head, you have a job, you have an income, you have a car, you have food in the fridge, that's a thankful moment. You might not have the best life, the Lamborghini or the other stuff that people have posted on Instagram. But a lot of those are fake. You hear stories about people borrowing from their parents to rent a Lamborghini. You know, I even thought about putting in my warehouse a fake private jet so people can take pictures to look like a famous influencer. Because that's the thing. Look it up if you don't believe me. But comment down below if you believe that stories from Instagram and the influence. But like and subscribe. Those are my 6 mindsets or 6 steps to create a positive mindset on money. Now, have a great day.